Hi guys, welcome to Sim Captain. It's Monday, February 17th, and it is Miami Monday. My wife and I just spent a week in St. Kitts and Nevis, so I'm going to do something a little unusual that you don't see me do very often, and that's fly the American 737, which is the flight we flew from St. Kitts up to Miami and then Miami back home to Philadelphia. So I'm going to recreate that flight tonight since it's Miami Monday. Works out quite well. You know, I flew the flight down here and there was ATC, and I kept messing up on the call sign because I just wasn't hearing the American 482 call sign, which is what we're going by. Because I'm always listening for my 66 Lima X-ray call sign. So anyway, I'm going to get the doors closed and the engine started. And we're going to get this flight underway. This is around the same time that we departed. It is 5 o'clock on the East Coast, Eastern Standard Time. The event starts around 7 p.m. Eastern Time. The flight's about 3 hours long, so we should be arriving right in the thick of it. So, doors are closed, lights are out, master switch is on, alternator switch is on. Nav lights are on, panel lights are on, the APU is running, avionics master is on, fuel quantity is checked. Circuit breakers are checked, doors are closed and locked, lights are out, passenger briefing is conducted by the cabin attendants. Parking brake is on, rotating beacon is on, fuel pump is on, throttles are idle, we're clear left and right, bleed air is selected to number 2 and the starter is engaged. Let's see, we got number 2 starting, it's turning. N2's on the rise, ITT's on the rise. We'll open the fuel valve. We got a good ignition. We got a good ignition of number 2. Bleed air is back to normal, starter switch is selected to ground. Engine stabilizing, temps and pressures look good. Bleed air is selected over to number 1. Number 1 is starters engaged. N2's on the rise. ITT's on the rise. Open the fuel valve. And we have a good ignition. Bleed air back to normal. Starter switch selected to ground. Oil pressure looks good. Oil temperature looks good. Everything's in the green. Unfortunately, we won't have air traffic control on our way out of St. Kitts here. So there's no ATIS available. Clearance delivery is not available. Clock is running. Transponder is squawking 2200, and we are squawking normal. Autopilot is off. We're going to climb to 34,000. We'll keep 250 knots below 10. Flight director is on. Altimeter is the local setting. Landing gear selector is down. Lights are test. We have a good test. Pitot heat's on. De-ice is on. Flaps are set for takeoff. And this one's weird because I have to do in between 2 flap settings to get the correct flaps. There we go. So I got to be very careful not to bang that again. Flap set, trim set, APU, we'll shut that down. Let's go inside the airplane. Cabin alerts, we'll turn them on before we start moving. Vertical speed reads 0, airspeed indicator reads 0. Ground taxi clearance, put our taxi light on. Parking brakes are released. We'll start rolling forward here. We're going to be departing runway 10. Test the brakes, left brake, right brake, brakes are tested. Heading indicator. Let's see, I need to keep moving, there we go. Heading indicators turning on both sides. Flight controls are free and correct. And we'll do a spoiler deployment. Spoilers deployed, light illuminates, full retract, light extinguishes. This airplane is really heavy, so when you drop the throttles, it just comes to a stop. It's weird. So I got to keep the power up. Reversers, we'll do a reverser test. 2 are unlocked, 2 are in reverse, 2 are stowed. And we'll do a departure briefing. We'll be departing runway 10 here at St. Kitts. And we'll expect a normal departure with standard callouts. Any failure before VR, we abort and stay here. Any failure after VR, with the exception of fire and the loss of directional control, will go airborne and either go to San Juan or St. Martin, which are the two closest larger airports, if you would call St. Martin a large airport. Outside of that, we're going to climb to flight level 340 directly, unrestricted, and that is it. Altimeter is the local setting. Nav radios are set, com radios are set, PID heat's on, de-ice on, yaw damp off. Star switches are set to continuous. Pumps are on, flaps are set, trim is set, time and fuel. Lineup checks, tower clearance. Let's see, we're on 122.8. That's St. Kitts traffic, American 42. We're taxiing runway 7 at St. Kitts, back taxi for takeoff. I kept calling it runway 10 because I'm so used to the other Caribbean islands. It's runway 7. Is that correct? Yes, runway 7. Okay, sorry for the mistake. We'll live. Lineup checks now that we're taking the runway. Landing lights and strobe lights are on. We'll let the cabin attendants know to prepare for departure. And next will be the after takeoff checklist and climb. I'll tell you, if you have not been to St. Kitts or Nevis, they are very nice islands to visit. Nevis I really loved. It's a very quiet island. It's not too touristy. Pretty nice beaches. There's a Four Seasons there. It's a volcanic island, so there's some black beaches, which is unique, I think. I haven't seen too many black beaches before. But I'd say we really enjoyed ourselves, and it was a good trip, good experience. I would return there if I had the chance. Oh, and the lights went on. And if you want to see the real-life videos of these flights, you can always check out my YouTube channel, PHL Pilot, where I post all my front seat and back seat aviation videos, real-life aviation videos. All right, runway 7. I don't know why I kept calling it runway 10. I'm thinking, St. Martin's runway 10, Anguilla's runway 10. I think Turks and Caicos, I think, are runway 10. Most of the Caribbean islands are east-west runways. I mean, this is east-west, but now we'll get into position. Nobody's landing. We're going to go. And then once we're in the air, since there's no control on, I'll cut the video off. It's going to get dark, and we'll arrive in the evening in Miami, hopefully in the thick of the Miami Monday event. Lights, strobes, brakes are off. We're going to bring it to a stop. Spool up, 40%. Temps and pressures are good. Everything's in the green. We'll advance to takeoff power. We're off the brakes. Takeoff power is set. And we are going. Airspeed's alive, both sides. 80 knots. Cross check. We'll continue. V1. Rotate. V2. Positive rate. Gear up. Gear up selected. Gears in transit. Alright. Gears up, lights out. Yaw damp is on. We'll engage autopilot. We have stable climb up to 340 on our current heading. So we'll activate the nav. 250 knots, below 10. Bring the flaps up. Flaps coming up to 10. 10 indicated. And we are on our way to Miami for Miami Monday. hold 260. That'll do a little better at holding 250 really. Alright, everything's looking good. We're getting up to 250 knots. Bring the flaps up to 5. 5 indicated. We're doing the Udugo. I don't know how to say this waypoint. Uniform Delta Golf Echo Lima. UGEL. I don't know, UGEL 1 departure. I'll bring the flaps up to 2, and then we'll bring the slats in. Alright, all is retracted, and the airplane is clean. We're continuing a stable climb. Increase it a little bit to 2,500 feet per minute. We'll just be monitoring the airplane as we're on our way to Miami. After takeoff checks. Gears up, lights are out, flaps are retracted and indicated, yaw damp is engaged, autopilot is checked and set. Altimeter is the current setting. We'll turn the fuel pump off. Starter switches can go to flight. Above 10 the landing lights come off, and then above 180 the altimeter is set to standard 29 or 9 or 2. Take a look at the outside. Very, very rarely fly commercial aircraft. My focus is corporate aviation and private jets. That's what I really enjoy the most. Alright, we're making the turn here. We're actually going to turn right back and fly right back over the island in the other direction. And we did exactly this procedure just a couple days ago in real life. Now, I don't know about you. I'm sure many of you do the same thing that I do, that whenever you fly somewhere in the real world, you recreate that flight in Flight Sim. Now, I certainly do that for just about every flight I ever make. We've got a lot of cloud cover. This was actually the same conditions we faced a few days ago, so I don't know if we'll even see the island again. There's a little bit of it right there. But that was a pretty good flight, you know. Not painful at all. Good views. Got to see, flew right over St. Croix, flew over Puerto Rico, flew over most of the Bahamian Islands, right into Miami for a beautiful landing in the evening. That video, like I said, will show up on my YouTube channel in a week or two when I get around to uploading it all. I still have to transfer the footage from my camera. And we're above 10, landing lights are off, and we're going to accelerate. Take it up to 340. And as I'm climbing directly to the flight level, 340, I'm just going to put the altimeter to standard now. 2992 on both sides. Check. Alright, well, I will come back in just a couple of seconds. It will have gotten dark, but when we are approaching Miami and we have air traffic control online, I'll be right back. Hi guys, welcome back. We're descending into Miami. I'm very confused because there's no air traffic control on. We're well past the time frame that this Miami Monday is supposed to take place. I checked it again, it's the correct date. I'm losing it, I guess, but for some reason there's no air traffic control on. So we're going to fend for ourselves. There's a lot of traffic, so I don't know what's going on. The traffic volume seems to be up to par with what's going on, you know, an event, but I don't know. This is going to be kind of chaotic doing it with uncontrolled, as an uncontrolled airport, because there is currently a lot of inbounds. I mean, I'm looking right now, and there's several planes on approach. I'm using Vatsim, which is an app I'm going to use to help maintain awareness of what's around me. But there's Miami right now. Good amount of traffic coming in there. There's a couple plane on a downwind. There's a plane on final. There's another 2 planes on a downwind leg. We're going to fly the Fowley 9 arrival. We're going to Lovely now, and then we'll fly a heading of 270 westbound. And we're going to arrive on runway 9 right. I think it's 9 right. Is that what I selected? No, just runway 9. Runway 9er. Which reminds me I need to program this up. Select approach, ILS runway 9, vectors load. Alright, that's done. We got 25.5 miles to the airport. ILS runway 9, the frequency is 110.9er. Tune that in. Approach course is 0902. So we'll put that in. I'm listening to Unicom. We're a little far out to be hearing it, but I'm seeing other traffic. 2 other airplanes right now. 092 is set. Crossing altitudes 3000, decision heights 200. Missed approach is a climb to 800 and a climbing right turn to 3000. Direct the Victor Kilo Zulu VOR DME and hold. Continue climb in hold to 3000. I see Miami. I will descend to 10,000. What's happening here? Altimeter is the local setting. That's checked. ATIS is not available, but I'll check. I have it on standby. ATIS unavailable. Cabin lights are on. Nav instruments are set. Flight instruments are checked. Everything looks good. Engines are in the green. Glide slope crossing altitude we reviewed 200 or 3000. Minimums 200 above the ground. Missed approach. We reviewed that. That's the approach chart review complete. As we go below 10 here, I'm going to put the landing lights on. And we're going to fly a heading of 270. Landing lights are on. We're going to go down to 6. Check this again. There's 2 aircraft on final. There's one of them right there. I'm coming in on this downwind. There's another aircraft inbound. I don't know what he's going to do. Miami traffic. American 482s inbound for runway 9er will be on a left downwind. Correction, right downwind for runway 9er.
Miami traffic, American 93, we have a engine 2 failure, so we are rapidly descending.
American 93, oh, that guy. He's off to my right, I can't see him. We're going to activate the approach. It says crossing altitude's 3000, so we'll continue down to 3000. Nobody's on this side of the airport but me, everyone's on the north side. Well, I don't know what he's doing.
Miami traffic, flares 325, established on the ILS for 9 right, 10 mile final.
Yeah, somebody just texted me so much for Miami Monday. Another pilot friend.
Miami traffic, American 1533, line up right runway 8 left.
I'm just
8
telling
right,
him
talk.
I'm confused. I didn't hear that last call. I'm talking to myself. Let's slow down here. Flap, we're gonna put the slats out. And as we slow, we'll put 2 degrees, 2 degrees. Miami traffic, American 42 is a midfield downwind for runway 9er. We'll be doing the ILS behind the second aircraft inbound.
Miami traffic, American 1533, take off runway 8 right.
Now I got this guy running parallel.
Miami traffic, American 1531, lining up and waiting runway 8 right. Miami traffic, 1545.
He's far away, can't hear what he said. This
Miami traffic, there's 325s on the 5-mile final for runway 9er, Miami traffic.
Miami traffic, American 482 is extending the right downwind for runway 9er. We're descending through 3,500. Oh, there's a tower here. It's a tall tower. Speed checks, we're going to go now 5 degrees flaps. We can disregard that gear warning. Gonna let the cabin know. Landing is imminent. Approach checklist. Marker beacon is on. Starter switches are set to continuous. Fuel pumps are on. Landing lights are on. Altimeter's local setting. Flaps as required. Landing checklist next. Let's see what's happening now. I don't know. Oh, there's another guy inbound. I'm gonna have to go a little further. We got 10 degrees of flaps out. We're doing 205 knots. I'm a little slow in the 737.
Traffic, American 1531, departing runway 8 right, Miami traffic.
Because I don't fly anything this big usually. I'm well below the glide slope and far enough out. Where's this other airplane doing? There's another guy coming in, this guy. Let's see if I can sneak in now. I'll turn north. Miami traffic, American 42 is turning on a right base for runway 9er. We're about 15 miles out of the airport, Miami. That person I can't even hear.
Miami area traffic, Euro 1640, coming in hot, runway 08 right, final, 10 on come off.
He's 8 right, 10 mile final. Rouge, American 42 is going to be a parallel approach to you on your right side. I'm looking for this guy.
Traffic, Canada 920, behind
He is
the
a factor.
Rouge, about 15 on come off, final for runway 8 right.
No, I'll be behind him. I'll be behind him. Alright. Miami traffic, American 482 is a 15 nautical mile final. Will be joining the ILS for Niner, Miami. Okay, gotta look around here. This guy's more than 10 miles away, so he's not a factor for me. There's somebody off to my left. This guy's a problem. He's a very big problem.
Miami air traffic, Route 1640, final, steering right.
I can't see him in the turn, but just Air Canada. Miami traffic, American 482 is a 13 nautical mile final, runway 9er, Miami. What's this American 93 doing? Everyone's converging at the same time. We got 3 converging for the airport right now. A little tight. I can't see behind me, so I should have the right of way. This guy's off to my left, American 93. I don't know where he's landing now.
American 482, can you please tell me the runway you're landing?
American 42, we're landing runway 9er.
Roger. We're 1,000 feet at your 9 o'clock.
Who's this? Miami traffic, American 482, 10 nautical mile final, runway 9er, Miami. Alright, speed checks, gear down.
Miami area traffic, Route 1640 going around 0 right.
Rouge is going around. Approach mode. Heading is 092. Whoa. Put 15 flaps out. There was a Air Canada, either he's behind me, I don't know how close behind me, I don't know or what happened to him, but he's behind me, he must be. We are landing checklist. Clearance, unavailable. Gear down, 3 green. Flaps full, speed checks. Let's slow down a little bit. We're on the, we're captured on the localizer. We'll go full flaps. Auto throttles, we'll turn them off. Autopilot, flight director, and yaw damp. All will be killed. Let's see where this guy is real quick. Yeah, he's behind me. Or he's like right off my shoulder here. I can't see him though.
Transat American 1023.
Miami traffic, American 482 is 5 mile final, runway 9er, Miami. Ring circle.
Miami Laurel Cargo 112, enter train right downwind. I'm going to plan to runway 9er this time.
Alright, that was the outer marker. All the throttle's off. Yaw damp is off. Autopilot's disengaged. I'm gonna kill the flight director. Miami traffic, American 42, short final, runway 9er, Miami.
Miami traffic, Air Canada 920, short final, runway 8 right, Miami. World cargo, it's passing 8,000 for 5,000, right downwind, runway 9er, Miami.
Alright, we're over the fence, we're landing. Alright, touchdown. Spoilers are deployed. Reversers are out. 90 knots. Alright, 60 knots. Alright, reverser stowed. Tango 3. Miami traffic, American 42 is clear of runway 9er, Miami, taxi to terminal Delta. Last call, Miami. Alright, spoilers are retracted. Let's pump off. Alright, Tango 3. That's Sierra. So we go up here and to the right. Any lights and strobe lights are off. Spoilers are retracted, flaps are coming up.
Miami traffic, world cargo 112,
Fuel pumps
right
off.
base, runway 9er, Miami.
Pitot heat and de-ice are off.
Miami AIM traffic, cruise.
Star switches are off. Bring the APU up.
Miami traffic, Air Canada 920, runway 8 right is vacated.
American 93, runway 12 is vacated.
Then it's just taxi in. This thing lumbers along on the ground. I'm not used to taxiing a big heavy airplane like this. Alright, flaps are up and indicated. We're going to Delta. Well, this is so foreign for me, the going up to the terminal. Romeo 2.
Miami traffic, cruise 40,
I don't know where Romeo 2 is on this chart. That could be an old.
Miami traffic, world cargo 112 is turning final, runway 9er. Airbus 300.
Yankee. Yankee will take me all the way. What? It does. Let's do Yankee. Another aircraft inbound here. I think that's the guy who missed his approach. Yeah, the logo lights are on, check.
And 482, that's up ahead on the right.
Thank you. Yankee, I'm crossing. Take Yankee to November. The taxi end's more complicated. What are you doing there, buddy? I guess I'm gonna wait on him. He has just no interest in being polite. I thought Canadians were polite. I'll just hold here waiting for him. No announcements. Another guy right behind him, so I'll wait for him.
Miami traffic, board cargo 112. Exiting the active, throwing entering T3, going to the city cargo, traffic advice. Miami traffic, Route 1640, short final 8 right.
It's also a little tough when there's no ground control. You just gotta take it upon yourself.
Cargo from Tango, Yankee to the ramp, work cargo 112, Miami.
Delta 1060, 15 mile final.
Alright, taxiing into Delta. Delta's a big terminal. It's like the whole length of the thing. I don't have any particular gate picked out. My buddy said he's here on the ground. He's 1793. I don't see where, let me see where he is. $17.93. Oh, he's at that part where I have no gate. There he is, right there, 1793. Hey, I gotta go all the way down the end of Delta there, 1793. I don't know if he picked up on that. And somewhere I departed the taxiway. I don't know what just happened. Oh, I didn't go around. But in real life, this goes straight across. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going all the way down to the end part because that's still there on the map. And this is what we actually did in real life too. I remember making this turn right here. And taxiing all the way down. That's my buddy right there. I don't know what frequency he might be on. Alright, we gotta go all the way down to the end here, because this is the only part of the map that actually still exists on my, because if people have updated scenery, I'm gonna look like him, parked in the middle of nothing. Well, I guess the Miami Monday was a fail, because there's no ATC and I don't know what happened. I checked it. This is when it was supposed to be. I'm very confused by that. Look, this thing's already stopping. And, but that's it. But that's my arrival from St. Kitts and Nevis Island to Miami International. Now I'm just speeding along the park. I'll take this gate right here on the end. So weird to pull up to the gates. Oh. Is this the line? No, this is the line. Okay. Too bad I don't have a marshal. I know people have that scenery. I don't have that. I used to have it, but somehow I got rid of it. Let's take a look at where we're at. Pull up a little further. Get online there. Alright, and stop. Parking brake is set. And the engines are brought to a stop. And the jetway will be brought out to us. Alright. And there's somebody right next to us. And that's it. Thanks for coming along for this Miami Monday. Hope you like and subscribe. Until next time, happy landings. And beacons off.